Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So today I have a comparison that I'm going to do here. So at the London Pen Club in June, I actually met up with Ray from Vintage and Modern Pens. Ray does a lot of the pen show circuits in the UK and also does, I think, the LA show in the US. And we got to talking. He knows that I'm into Viscontis and Pelicans and Arcos. I bought a number of pens from Ray in the past. And we started talking about Arcos and OMASs again. And he said he actually has a number for sale in his catalogue. And that he would send them to me so that I could take a look at them and maybe do a review, and if I didn't like them, send them back. So thank you very much, Ray, for allowing me to do this. The first two pens here on the left are the Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra Arco in bronze, and the Armando Simone Club Ogiva Tribute in Arco bronze. Now these two are mine, and then these three are Ray's. And so from left to right here we have the OMAS Milord, and we have a OMAS Paragon, both in Arco bronze, and then an OMAS Paragon in Verde, Arco Verde. So I just wanted to really sort of do a bit of a comparison here so you could see the difference in sizes of these pens. Now the Bologna Extra is a mammoth of a pen. It's a pen that sometimes I actually find a little bit too large or too long, too weighty, but it is a pen that I really do like. There is something about the Arco, and these, whether or not they're Armando Simone Club or OMAS, these are all the original Arcos that OMAS used to make the Arco pens, whether or not it's the bronze pens or the Verde, Arco Verde pens. So I just wanted to show really here the difference in size, so that if you're looking at an OMAS or maybe an ASC pen, that you can really get to see the difference here. So the Bologna Extra is very, very large, but it's a stunning pen. So this pen here is number 202, and as you can see, it's the ASC Bologna Extra Arco. Now this comes with just a standard pointed finial. It has the standard sort of roller clip here, and it has an ASC medallion. And some people like that, some people don't. I wasn't too pleased about the medallion to start with, but it's something that's grown on me. You then, on the cap band, you have the Greek key, and this is something that you would get on most OMAS pens, even though this is an Armando Simone Club pen. And then the body tapers down to the piston filling knob, or the pneumatic filling knob here. And because it's a pneumatic filler, you'll see that it has a little pinhole in there, so you have to stick your finger over it. And so this pen, as I was saying, it is a large pen. So with it capped like so, and if I unscrew it, you'll see even in my hand here, if I zoom out a little bit more, that is a large pen. Now, if I were to post this, and I don't normally post my pens, it just becomes a mammoth behemoth of a pen. It does come with a number 8 size nib that you can see here. It only comes in one size, which is effectively fine. It's a Magic Flex nib. But it is a very, very weighty pen. But I'm used to weighty pens, and I'm used to the Opera Masters, for instance, so it's really only a little bit longer than an Opera Master, and in terms of weight, it's around about the same size, or same weight, so for me, it's not that bad, but because it has a number size 8 nib on it, I think that sort of makes it feel a little bit more unwieldy. And I guess I sometimes find that with the Pelican M1000, which also has a number 8 nib on it, and also the Mont Blanc 149, because that has a number 8 nib on it as well. But that is the Bologna Extra. So I wanted to show that off. Now, the problem you'll see here is that a lot of time these Arcos do not actually match up. So you have to get the right thread. And it's trial and error. Each one is slightly different. So if you have maybe, I don't know, say 3, 4, 5 Arcos, each one of these are going to start on a different thread. So you just have to bear that in mind. Now this is the Ogiva, which is a much smaller pen, and this is again, it's a nice pen. It's very pointed. So it doesn't have a cap finial there. It has the standard roller clip here, and then it has 3 bands here. And this is the tribute, Ogiva tribute from Armando Simone Club. And if I zoom in here, you'll be able to see this actually says ASC Ogiva Arco February 2017 number. Now this is backwards, so it's 58 of 56, or it's actually 56 of 58 pens. So the total of 58 pens were made on this one. And again, in terms of size of the hand, this is actually not a bad size. It's a lot thinner, but as you can see there, it actually fits my hand quite well. But it is a thinner pen, and I tend to like larger sections, not only in terms of longer section, but in terms of girth as well, in diameter. Now this one actually comes with a frosted nib on it, and this is an original OMAS nib that you can see there. So it's not an ESC nib. So this is one of the pens that came with the frosted nib from ASC. And this is a cartridge converter. So if I unscrew this, you'll see there it is just a standard cartridge converter. I tend to like cartridge converters more nowadays. I tend to like gravitate between pistons or power vacs, but mainly because they have a lot of capacity. But now and again, I keep going back to cartridge converters because they're easy to fill, they're easy to clean, and they're easy to maintain. So for me, like, this is a nice pen. Now I can post this cap, but again, it does get a little bit too long, so I don't, and I'd rather not post and create marks. So I'm always very careful if I do try to post these. Now again, like, we'll try and see if we can match this one up. That one matches up straight away, so that was quite good. Now we go on to the Milord. Now the Milord is probably, I think you say, about the same length as the Ogiva, although the Ogiva tapers off at both ends here. But the Milord, or My Lord, is actually slightly more thicker in diameter, but it's a lovely pen. So you have this end cap finial, you have the standard roller clip that you see on most OMASs. It tapers down to the cap band where you have OMAS and then the Greek key, and it says Italy. And you can just see the Arco, how it just shines there on camera, just in the light, the natural light when you rotate it. So this is something that a lot of us actually really do like about the Arco pens, is that it's almost like a beacon. It really is a mesmerizing sort of pattern that you get, almost like a tiger's eye. I know some people call it a tiger's eye, but it is a lovely, lovely material. So I think, sort of from that perspective, like, you tend to get it on two sides, the Arco, so you get it on the front and the rear. or top and the bottom. So the body tapers down, and then you have the piston knob. Now, in terms of the nib on this one, I'll show you the nib. This is a medium nib, and you can see there with the ebonite feed, and that's the nib there. So it's an 18 karat gold nib, and then you have this sort of almost like a nut here at the end of the section, and then the section tapers up to the threads, and then there's a bit of a step down there, but it's not a huge step down. If I can try and show you the step down there, maybe a little bit there. It's not a huge step down. It's something like if you were to hold the pen, say here, yes, you would notice it. But again, this is a stunning pen. It's a real nice pen to write with, and I really do like the Arco Celluloids, and unfortunately OMAS have gone under now, so it's very difficult to pick these up, and when you do try to pick these up, they actually sell for a lot of money. So now that one lined up straight away, so you can see that there. But this is the danger with the Arcos now, that they are becoming very hot potatoes. So this is the next one. This is the Paragon, the Paragon OMAS Extra, and again it's slightly smaller and slightly thinner. You have the tapered down on the end cap here. You have the standard roller clip, and it tapers up here to the center band on the cap, and you can see here it just has the Greek key on this model. But again, you can see how this Arco celluloid really sparkles. It's just mesmerizing. It's one of the most beautiful materials, really, that I think pens are made of. This is a really, really nice pen, and you can see it here from the underside or the reverse. Again, it just sparkles. Now you'll see here, this one does say, if we can get the light just right, OMAS Extra. There, it's very difficult probably to see. There you go, OMAS Extra. And then it tapers down to the end cap there, which is the piston knob. So this is a lot thinner and a lot smaller. But again, in my hand, it's actually more manageable. So this is around the size of a Pelican M800. Now, I'll be careful with this, but you can post this. But again, it becomes a little bit unwieldy, so it's not something I really would want to do. Now, the nib on this pen, if I just try to zoom in here a little bit more, you can see the nib there. So this is an 18 karat gold nib, and this is, I believe, a broad nib. There is no designation. Oh no, there is. There's a designation there, broad nib on the side of the nib there. And then you have a little bit of a flare out here at the bottom of the section, and it tapers up to the threads, and there's a little bit of a step down. Not as much as the My Lord. And then you can see here, if I zoom in a little bit more again, it says OMAS Extra. But this really is a lovely size. For me, I think the section is a little bit too narrow. I would prefer the section to be a lot more wider. If I compare it with the Ogiva, for instance, you'll see there that it's probably similar in terms of the diameter, it flares out a little bit more, but it also tapers in a little bit more. But it is, in terms of length, it is slightly smaller than the Ajiva. So let's put these caps back on. Now, I think it's this one that I have a slight problem lining up. Yeah. So you'll see here that it doesn't quite line up. So you have to get the right cap threads. Once you know what the correct cap thread is, you will get it lined up. But this can sometimes, there you go, this can sometimes annoy people. And the reason why that is that there are multiple threads. So if you, normally there can be like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 threads. So if you have multiple threads, you have to start with the correct thread, or the clip in the correct angle or rotation to have it line up. It's not a major problem. You just have to sort of try and remember. And if you have a number of different Arcos, this is where it might be a little bit more difficult because they don't all start on the same thread. Now, this is a stunning pen. So this is the OMAS Paragon again, but this is in the Arco Verde instead of Arco Bronze. I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see this here. So this is a green Arco, hence the name Verde. And this is really, really lovely. It's like, I thought I was in love with the Arco Bronze, but the green, the Verde, is, I think, even better. And again, like, you start off here with a cap finial, goes to a point. You have the standard roller clip here, and then you come down, it tapers up slightly to the cap band, and you just have the Greek key there, which is what OMAS pens are renowned for. Now, this one doesn't actually have any inscription on the barrel to say that it's an OMAS or an OMAS Extra. OMAS didn't actually inscribe the barrels on all of their pens. I think they, if I'm correct, I think they started in the late 90s. So this one probably predates the late 90s, whereas the other two, the My Lord and the Paragon in the Arco Bronze, were sort of a little bit later, because they do have the imprints. So you can see here it tapers down. Again, you have the facets, tapers down to the piston knob here. And if I unscrew this one, you'll see the nib here. And again, it's ebonite feed on all of these. And this is an OMAS, but it's a 14 carat nib. So that's really, really nice. And this is a broad nib as well. So, and again, like the section, you have that little flare out here. Towards the bottom of the section, then you have the threads, which you really cannot feel, and then you have a very small step down here. Now, I think this one, let's try and line this up. Yeah, that one lines up fine. So again, it's just getting those threads started, but these are wonderful pens, and I really just wanted to show these off because you can see here the way the Arco shines, whether or not it's the bronze or the Verde, they really are nice pens. Now, unfortunately, as I said, these are becoming very hard to come by. So these are, because of that, because of the nature of supply and demand, these are becoming very, very expensive pens. So and also very limited, and very difficult to find, at least for a good price. So if you want to get an Arco, be it an OMAS or an Armando Simone Club, get one whilst you can, because there are only so many OMASs that were made, and now that OMAS has gone under as a company, there will be no more made. Now, Armando Simone Club, ASC, bought out a lot of the liquidated stock of the rods and the trims from the liquidators that liquidated OMAS. So you can still get these ASC Bolognas extras and also the Ogivas, although again there are only limited amounts of rod stock available. So once they're gone, they're gone. So although technically the Armando Simone Club pens here are not limited edition, they are more special edition. Once they're gone, they're gone. So they are numbered, but they won't be a limited edition one of 200 or 500 or 1,000 necessarily. It really depends on how many rods they have left and whether or not they have enough to make maybe another series of pens. So if you don't want the newer versions and you want to stay close to the vintage roots with OMAS, then you can get the OMAS pens from a number of different sellers. You can get them on eBay. Ray provided these 3 pens here to me from Vintage and Modern Pens. There are other sellers as well that will have OMAS pens and Arco pens at a lot of the different pen shows, not only in the UK but around the world, in the US, in Australia, so and Italy, which is obviously where OMAS was originating from. So I just wanted to show off these Arcos. They're absolutely stunning Arcos. And I'd like to thank Ray from Vintage and Modern Pens for providing the 3 OMASes that you see here on the video to go alongside my 2 Armando Simone Club pens. So thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.